Hello YouTube. I'm Lion. This is Hobbies of a Man. And today's video, our second video on the channel, is going to be about why I made my YouTube channel and what I hope to talk about on the channel. And this is going to serve both as an introduction of me to you and as a reminder for me in the future when I'm unsure about what I'm supposed to do on the channel, because this should be the outline about what my content is going to be about. So first of all, what's the channel going to be about? Hobbies. Obviously, I'm a man, I have hobbies. I want to talk about those hobbies. And I have a lot of them, I guess. Cooking is my number one hobby, I guess. Reading is my other one. Those two are the big ones. Language learning is pretty interesting to me. I know English and Spanish. I know some Turkish, and I'm learning French right now for school. So I can talk about that. The other hobby I have is fountain pens. You know, so this is ink and these are fountain pens, and I want to talk about it because it's not like a hobby young people have, I think. I always feel very old when I tell people that I like fountain pens, because they all look at me like, what the hell? Why don't you just use a gel pen? I'm like, because gel pens are cheap and I want to enjoy my writing experience. So those are the hobbies that I want to talk about on the channel. Well, I can't do cooking because I don't have the space, equipment, or privacy to do so, because I live in an apartment with three other people, sorry. And yeah, so the main bulk of the videos on this channel are going to be about books. We're going to talk about novels. We're going to talk about light novels. Okay, and we're also going to talk about comic books and manga. I put these together instead of light novels and manga because these are basically the same medium. They just have different takes on the same stuff. You know, shonen manga is basically just superhero comics. And yeah, so I'm gonna mostly do reviews. Novels and comic books are gonna be on the low end of output. I might only do one novel a month and one comic book a month, depends. The bulk is going to be light novels and manga. And the reason is because even though manga and light novels are more expensive than regular novels and comic books, actually, comic books are really expensive too. But anyway, the point is, even though they're more expensive, they're more easily accessible to me in terms of time, because as a college student, I'd rather engage with something that is still within my hobby, that is only going to take me 1 hour to do, instead of something that's going to take me like a week. So like, I can read a manga in 45 minutes, a volume of manga in 45 minutes, and I can do that easily. And 45 minutes is like me taking my time, and I can still like absorb it, and I can reread it if I need to. I can't do that with novels. Even though I read really fast, a novel requires much more processing time. It also requires a lot more reading time, like just generally, because I don't read YA, and even though YA books tend to be long now, they're still much more easily consumed than like Brandon Sanderson or like Wheel of Time and stuff, you know? Like adult fantasy and adult science fiction is much more difficult to engage with, especially if I'm talking about classical stuff, like classic sci-fi, classic fantasy, than YA. And I don't like YA, so I'm only going to read adult fiction. And it's going to take a long time, and it's going to require a lot of commitment. So that's why that's going to be on the low end of the spectrum on the YouTube channel. Manga and light novels are the main ones, mostly because they're easier to read and I can read more of them faster. If a novel takes me 15 hours to read, I can read 15 volumes of manga, you know? and plus more content is probably better on a platform like this, so that's beneficial for me as well in that sense. And generally the structure is going to be, for manga, I'm gonna do a review at 1 volume, 3 volumes, and then at the end of the series. And so the review at 1 volume is the first impression, because even though it's 6 chapters, this is basically just reading the prologue and the setup of the characters, which in regular novels would be like 2 or 3 chapters, right? So 1 volume of manga is a first impression video. 3 volumes of manga is a continue to read or pass, right? So the 3 volume rule, at the end of the 3rd volume, if I'm not interested, I'm gonna stop collecting. I'm gonna keep everything that I have now until my collection gets to 500 volumes or so, because I'm still trying to figure out what I like, right? And just because I engaged in reading a volume right now does not, and didn't like it at the moment, doesn't mean I won't like it in the future, because my mood could be wrong. I could have been expecting something different, you know. I could have not been in the mood, those types of things. And since I don't really know what I like in terms of manga yet, I'm gonna not unhaul any manga unless it's completely horrible and I don't want to ever read it again, which is probably unlikely. And yeah, and so, and comic books, also gonna be maybe 1 a month. Well, I have 4 that I can review now. The first 3 volumes of Aquaman, and 1 volume of a random series I picked up that I might want to look into and review, but I'm not sure yet. Light novels, I don't know yet, because light novels are long form like manga, so they have a lot of volumes, but they're more like a real novel than a manga volume, and they still take less time. Like I could read this in 3 hours if I just decided to sit down for 3 hours and read it. So I can probably do the first volume of every one I pick up, and then only do second or subsequent volumes for the ones I really like Konosuba is probably going to be one that I review all the volumes that I get for it. But because I'm starting out my collection now, I'm really gonna be focusing on picking up first volumes more so than subsequent volumes. So I don't know, we'll figure it out. Yeah, language learning is gonna also not be very important on this channel. I might review books in other languages, like if I'm traveling somewhere and I pick up a book in a different language, well, in Spanish mostly, I might read it and then review it in English, or I might do reviews for English books in Spanish if that's a thing that people enjoy. Although, even though I'm technically a native Spanish speaker, the way I speak Spanish is more like English translated into Spanish. Like a lot of phrasing that I use and the way I structure my thoughts is very English based, just with Spanish words, if that makes any sense. You multilingual people will probably understand. So I don't know, it might not be that great for Spanish listeners, but we'll see. And yeah, I guess that's what we're gonna cover on the channel. Why I started my channel is basically I've been watching BookTube for a long time, and I really like the people that are doing it, and I want to do it too. And then I started getting into comic book stuff. Like I was watching a lot of Just Some Guy videos, and I didn't really watch those for the comic books, more for the fact that like the comic book industry is like crazy because of the like bipartisanship thing that's crazy strong right now. And I thought it was really interesting, and then through that I was like, oh, I'll read comics to like figure out if I agree with what he's saying or not. But I haven't picked up any comics that are like problematic, so whatever. And then MangaTube, that's actually what propelled me to make the channel. I was watching Boogie Snacks videos, and then the other day he released should you make a manga tube channel, and basically said if you want to, go for it, and the community is great, the people in it are good, there's no problem, just don't focus on like getting a lot of views and getting a lot of books and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, I agree with that, I just want to talk about stuff. And so yeah, it's basically Boogie's fault that I'm doing a channel. And I think the same day that he released that video, I made my first video and uploaded it. I uploaded it for Thursday, but I think his video came out on Wednesday. So yeah, it's all Boogie. He really was the one that made me feel that I could make my YouTube channel. And yeah, and what else? I guess that's it. I'm working on a template for how to make book reviews, because I want to make a book review rubric, I guess, that is functionable or usable for all types of books that I buy. So I guess I'm gonna focus mostly on sorry about that, my computer went off. I'm gonna focus mostly on plot, characterization, and world building, and art. And yeah, art would be like a secondary thing, because I want to be mostly objective, and I guess that's not really possible because all of this is art and I'm gonna feel about it different ways. But generally I want to be as objective as possible about it and be analytic about what I'm reading. But I haven't figured it out yet. That's kind of like the idea that I have right now. I'll make a separate video about it once I figure it out completely, and explaining it before I do my first review. And yeah, so recap. I made this channel because Boogie Snacks made a video that basically was relatively inspirational and helped me jump over or cross the line that I needed to cross in order to be like, yeah, screw it, I'm gonna make a channel. And the reason I made the channel, or the things I'm gonna talk about on the channel, are books, fountain pens, and language learning. And yeah, I guess, okay, I should mention the type of inspiration that I have. So I think I mentioned it earlier, I can't remember, because I've reshot this video like 4 times because I wanted to do it in one take. So at this point I don't remember what I've mentioned in what video, so hopefully everything makes sense. Okay, booktube wise, my inspirations are Daniel Green, Mike's book reviews, Murphy Napier, and Elliot Brooks, and Captured in Words. Those are the 5 people that I really like on booktube. For comic books, I guess Midnight's Edge, but he's much more of a news channel or like a editorial channel. And then Just Some Guy, and again, he's more of a editorial journalist kind of channel, but I really find what he talks about very interesting. And I tend to agree with what he says, because it doesn't just apply to comic books, it applies to general media. But yeah, Just Some Guy and Midnight's Edge are the 2 comic book dudes that I watch relatively regularly, and they're the inspiration on that side. But I don't know if I'll make any video essays, so whatever. And then for fountain pens, I guess Goulet pens, but every fountain pen channel is basically them trying to sell you pens, and I'm not trying to do that, because I mean, maybe that might be the strategy if I need money, but God, that sounds so sleazy. I'm sorry. Yeah, so Goulet pens is probably the biggest influence, because what's his name? I forgot his name, but the guy that is the head of Goulet pens, his videos are really informative, and I want to make videos kind of like that. What's the other guy? Mike, Ink Dependence. I don't remember his name. I think his name is Mike as well, and his channel is in Ink Dependence probably, or at least that's what he says. That's what his vlog is called. So yeah, Goulet pens and Ink Dependence for fountain pens. Comic books is just some guy in Midnight's Edge, and then the booktubers are Ellie Brooks, Murphy Napier, Captured in Words, John Green, not John Green. I guess he is a booktuber. Daniel Green, and Mike's Book Reviews. And then for manga, Boogie, Justice R. Stone for light novels. He's really great, and his podcast is super awesome. I've started listening to it from the very beginning, and I'm getting really good titles that I want to check out. Nux Taku as well. Okay, he's technically an anime tube guy, but he's very funny. His flexes and his memes are great. And when he gets serious and actually analyzes stuff, is very, like, emotionally impactful. Like, his video about Fairy Tail and how the main character is the guild and not Natsu or Lucy was like top tier. I started watching Fairy Tail again because of that, and wow, everything hit different. Like I started tearing up a lot when Natsu would start talking about friendship and like what it means to be in the guild and stuff, and I was like, crap. This is like heavy when you look at it as like the guild is the main character and you're part of the guild and you like feel the struggles of the characters way more. Yeah, so Nux Talk is a big inspiration for the stuff. So I might make video essays just to talk about stuff that is similar to that. And yeah, so those are my inspirations for the video, or for the channel. And yeah, I've been super rambly, so I hope everyone is okay. And I hope you guys watch it until the end. And if you do, and you like me somewhat, please subscribe, like the video, and catch me next time. I think I'll start posting videos on Thursdays and Sundays if I have secondary videos that I want to post. So maybe my first review is going to go up Sunday next week on the... yeah, my first book review is probably going to go up Sunday the 15th. And on Thursday, I'll have a video about my book review system. And yeah, also check out my Instagram. I put some stuff there. I haven't put up anything about you know, like reading goals or TBR or what I'm reading at the moment. Mostly it's been about the channel, but I will start doing stuff like that. I'll like post a picture of the book I'm reading at the time and stuff. And yeah, and post updates about the channel on Instagram as well. So yeah, please check out everything, and thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.